Hi everybody, Simon Cooper from the Cooper Strip Club, and as you can see here we've got ourselves a classic Fergie tractor, and I've been hunting for one of these for a long time. And this section through here I put the stripper onto about 20-25 minutes ago, and it's had 3 light applications. When we put our stripper on, it's a very, very thin liquid, and it's designed to be sprayed. It goes on light, it absorbs quickly into the surface, and while it absorbs in, and then you put more stripper on top of it to keep it damp. So I've got one of my brass detail brushes. There's different ways of taking it off. It doesn't always go straight to the surface, to the metal in this case. Sometimes it's got a bit of hard to get paint. And sometimes you'll take it off with a blade. This blade has got a curve on the edge. It's not dead flat, it's got a lump. And sometimes we'll use that. You just decide which is the best efficient way for you. So, I'm off a dairy farm, born and bred dairy farm, my son, and we had Fergie tractors. And one inherited. I was always quite keen to strip one.
How many sprays, Simon?
This has had 3, and because it's gone all rubbery and bubbly, what we're doing is just getting all that bubbly stuff off. This blade is ideal because it doesn't rip into the steel because of its curved nature. So it's just a combination of brushing and that blade. Now, we're coming to you today from the Hawke's Bay in the Hawke's Bay, of course, New Zealand, and at Flaxmere. This is a very iconic badge. I was reading this morning, but I better do a bit of Wikipedia research, and this is a TE or TA or TO? TE. And did you know what TE stands for? TEA. T stands for tractor, E stands for England, and usually there's a 20 in there somewhere, which means 20 horsepower. Which I thought was rather interesting. This was actually quite a breakthrough for tractors. Its small compactness, versatility, all that stuff. Okay, now I'm going to put some more stripper on. Tried to find the shadiest part we could. If the sun goes overcast again, that'd be good. Normally you would try to have complete shade all the time. You don't want the stripper to be evaporated by really hot sun. Put masking here to keep the stripper out of the electrics and things. Normally you would take the bonnet off and all those sort of things anyway. So while we wait for this, one of the things I'm liking about these live streams we're doing is when we meet interesting people. And the owner of this tractor is one Colin Simpson, and before we meet him, when we had this the other day and we discovered it, behind it, underneath a tarpaulin, was something that was rather curious. So I took the tarpaulin off and discovered this device. So this is Colin. So explain, Colin, what's this all about?
This is a bike we built for the renal unit because I'm on dialysis. We wanted something to give awareness of people in the renal clinic and people on dialysis. So this is like a show pony where you go to different events and connect someone up to it. It's only a dry machine, it doesn't actually run like the real machine, but you just connect someone up and you ride it around so people can see the awareness of the dialysis machine and what people have got to put up with and what sort of life we live.
You've quite a few hours a week.
Yeah, I spend 5 hours every second day on this machine. Well, not this particular machine, but a machine like it. Takes you about half an hour to hook up, then 5 hours on the machine, another half an hour to disconnect. Knocks you around a bit, but it gives you a bit of energy for a couple of days, keeps you up above the ground. Any day above the ground is better than one under it.
Don't say that.
So yeah, it's just basically the awareness of dialysis, and I've been on dialysis for a while. So, and there's a lot of us out there trying to find kidneys and that. So this machine we take out every now and again, and people see it, and we just let them know what it's for and what we do with it.
What I like is with Colin is when he's finished all this, he's back to work. So this keeps him as a taxpayer, which is great. So
Yeah.
well done, Colin.
And this was built out of scrap. We got bits and pieces of bikes at work, and we assembled this machine. Just something to do and something to highlight what we've sort of got to put up with. It's very hard being on dialysis, believe me, and it's very hard trying to find people to donate kidneys, live kidneys, to people like myself. And when you do get a person, you try and look after them and harvest their kidney, and just, you know, keep us alive, if you know what I mean.
Harvest. Good
They're
word.
looking the other way.
Yeah. Why they're looking the other way. But fortunately, I have got a donor that's come forward, and she's going through the process at the moment, and hopefully things will all work out well, and I'll have a kidney in the next year or so. Yeah, so basically this is a standard dialysis machine, and that little thing over there, that's a kidney. That's taken, instead of my kidney, that actually works as my kidneys now. And that's your pump where your blood from your body comes out of this line here, runs through into this pump, and runs through, down, through your kidney, back up into here, so you don't have any air get into your system, and then it's put back through into this needle, which comes back into your body. So basically your blood's going round and round in a circle, it's being purified and shoved back in you.
How many times was it, Colin? It was about 70 something times or something.
Yeah, it goes through your heaps of times.
Amazing.
So depends on what you have your machine set at, is how much blood goes through and how much you purify it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But you've got to do it at least 3 times a week. I do it 3 times a week. You can do it 4 times a week, but I find it's a bit hard on my body at 4 times, so 3 times is better.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we got you a rider.
Yeah.
So George, can you step forward so people what this thing can do? This
Yeah,
is
don't kill Colin.
yeah.
I'm too young to die.
So
I'll think about it.
off he goes.
See you later.
Anyway,
Off on a journey.
yes. Thank you, Colin. Okay,
And
well,
to Mr. Fergie.
back to that, were you? It's really important to give the product its time. If it needs an extra 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can give it to it. You might as well get your value. Now we don't have our big poster behind us today, so if you are interested in these products, go to coopersstripclub.com. So that's coopersstripclub.com, and we'll see all sorts of videos and stuff. If you know somebody who would be interested, if you want to share this video with them, that'd be great. Questions, any future projects you want to see us stripping?
Simon, if somebody was stripping something like this and they had to leave and the paint stripper dried off,
You just we got called away, over time that would dry, and all you do is you would strip, you just spray a little bit more on top, and it would be instantly back going again. A lot of strippers, if you let them dry, they go like clay.
What about bog?
With bog, it will soften it around the edges, and then it takes a bit of time, but it will take the bog out. I wouldn't go in there with that because it would scratch it. So what I do is
Some camera issue. I didn't.
give another brush.
Sorry, guys. My camera's playing up.
Camera doing, Gary.
Doing everything about what I want.
All good? Good. Technology, people. Now, before I go to the front, I'll just put some more. Stay down there. You need that. I have a spare. We often get asked about rust, and the stripper is not a rust killer. It is a rust exposer. What you do is it takes it right back and unveils all the sins. And here's quite a stiff brass. I like using things like brass and copper more than steel. The steel ones are a little bit too harsh. There you go.
So people may be wondering about lead paint right now.
With lead, it's not a problem. It just liquefies. You can see how it just liquefies here. Oh, look at that. We've got the writing underneath there. That'll be interesting.
Do you know what year this track is from?
On my reading, they were around the end of the Second World War, around 47-ish, for about 10 odd years. There'll be lots of experts out there that know a lot more than me about it. But that was the sort of the period, and it was Harry Ferguson that his company developed it, and then later he merged with some American-Canadian chap who was from the Massey side of life, and so they eventually became Massey Ferguson. But at this time it was Harry Ferguson. No, yeah, it was Harry Ferguson. Now where's my stripper? We've got it gone. Lost my brain there for a second. There's writing under here, Colin. Is there? Yeah, that's the original Ferguson. Tread carefully around that. Now this, should have told you about it first. This is our grit pad. It's like a nylon pad with a grit actually put into it, and it's a good way up. There is rust at that bottom surface. It'll knock the scale off. Once this process is all done, you would then do whatever rust treatments. There's lots of them on the market. Most of them are all based on phosphoric acid. So this is, as you'd expect, it's got a lot of rust sitting at the metal level, but it's all got a steel left. And again, a bit more. The thing with the stripper is a better name for it would have been dissolver, because that's what we're doing, is we're just dissolving away, putting on light amounts, letting it do its job, and then didn't expect to find the word Ferguson underneath it. And so you just work along with what you discover. Quite enjoying these live streams where everything's in real time, never quite sure what to expect, and that's what the real world of restoration is all about.
How many litres do you reckon to using Coopers to strip?
The whole tractor, there's not a lot of metal on it. I mean, two litres would probably somewhere 2 to 4 litres, somewhere in that range. But if you then do underneath the bonnet, because there's other surfaces there, so it can be a little deceptive. But I mean, if someone had a 5 litre can, they should quite happily expect to get it all knocked out.
Coopers is also a great degreaser, isn't it, where it gets rid of the grease on the engine parts?
Yeah, we've had people that have had the inside of engine bays where they squirt the stripper on and then they hit it with a hot water blaster, and it was steam pressure and it just all dissolved away. So you can see that orange there, that's all rust. It's just coming away. Okay, what we'll do now is peel that off. Then we'll give it a rinse with our flusher and we'll be done.
A lot of people think the flushers are neutraliser, don't they? Where it's nothing to neutralise.
Yeah, the rinse that we're coming up to next, there's got a little bit there I want to deal to. I'll talk about that flush apart. Find that you think this little thick bit, that a little bit of extra stripper would be good on. This just makes it so much easier than brushing. You can just puff a bit on very quickly, backwards and forwards. Okay, now I'll get a clean pad, get the blue one. On our guide, if you've seen other videos, you'll see the guide that is sort of a 1, 2, 3. We're on to part 3 now. This is the rinse. This is a paraffin-based rinse, and we call it flusher. And as Dory was saying, people often think it's a neutraliser. It's not. There's nothing to actually neutralise. Now, the stripper works by dissolving. For it's virtually pH neutral, so you don't need to neutralise it because it's already there. So what you do got to do is remove any residues of stripper, residues of softened paint. So you spray, scrub, spray, wipe, and this is where it gets more fun when you get to see what you've achieved. Mr. Ferguson is still happily there.
Oh, lightly.
Go away, son. Amazing what's hides and sheds around this country. So you're spraying, scrubbing, wiping as you go. The flush you don't put on and go for a coffee, you stay with it. And this has got a few little raspy marks from past work done on it. So what's that? It's like 70 odd years. Had a few haircuts in that time. Like me. And there we go. So what do you think of that, team? Is that cool?
Ferguson's one.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. That is really unreal. I will now strip the rest of the tractor.
Yes, yes. You'll do it now.
Well, that's what we're doing with it anyway. We're going to restore this tractor and take it up to the Summers farm.
The working tractor.
Yep. Got another 20 years left in it yet.
Plus.
It's pretty impressive.
Have a feel of it. It'll be so soft. No sanding.
So, if you're looking for a stripper that really gets it off, Cooper's the stripper that gets it off every time. See you tomorrow.